Welcome to Bloodfeast. It's a special Bloodlines edition. My name is J. Christopher Arison, and this is from May 1989. It's that woman's birthday. My grandmother. She was 75. It's weird watching this. This is one of those videos I've just had for a while, but I haven't really watched it until now. That's my sister Linda, one of two sisters I have. I also have 5 brothers, many of which are in the room, only one of which I still speak to. That's my Aunt Doris, who died a couple weeks ago, next to my grandmother. My grandmother died a while ago. She lived to 92. Anyway, for the next hour, we're going to be exploring my bloodlines. Specifically, a 2-year period of my life. Summer of '89 to 1991. It was the worst period of my life, but also the most pivotal. And what happened during that time, in a very big way, led to me being here with this job. So come with me over the next hour and relive the darkest time of my past. I invite you to call 413-961-4263 if you have any questions about my family or anything you see on screen. That there is my mother, with her mother, my grandmother, and I resemble them. We all look like skinny marionettes. There I am at the table right there, and I believe to be wearing a bolo. I was a little bit heavier, had angry, curly, blonde hair. My sister Linda, sitting next to her ex-husband. It's my grandmother and her 3 daughters. My grandmother had long legs. She passed down to me. I have long legs. She looks like a big bird, as does my mother, as do I. And that there with the brown hair on the right, if you just saw him, that's my father. And he's the main character from that time of my life and, well, from my childhood. My father was in his early 50s at the start of 1989. And by that time, we didn't have a great relationship. It wasn't your typical abusive relationship. He wasn't very supportive. So we didn't have a great father-son back and forth. And I always dreamt about getting older and having a job in which he would be proud of me. But that time would not come. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. So again, this is 413-961-4263. We've shifted now to, I believe, May 20th, 1989. Almost exactly 28 years ago. I'm picking up the girl I was dating at the time. We'll call her Rachel. This is the second prom I went to with Rachel. We went junior year, and this is senior year. What nobody knew, including her family and friends, is that we were dating. we'd been dating a couple months by this point, but she didn't want her friends or family to know. She just wanted them to know I was her friend, despite spending all her time with me and going to proms with me. Have you dated someone who didn't want anyone to know they were dating you? Call 413-961-4263. Tell me about it. It would make me feel better. I've gotten over it. It's been 28 years. It is still strange, though. What I remember is just being so uncomfortable at all times. I guess teenagers feel like that. But I was especially desperate. I've talked before on the streams how nerds, they have their cliques, they have their interests, so they don't really necessarily want to belong. I was a dork. I really wanted to be viewed as funny, good-looking, intelligent. And there are those who be like, I don't care what people thought about me in high school. Well, bully for you. I cared. I wish I didn't. Look at her, she can't even look at me. She can't even look at me. Sometimes when I visit my mom in New Jersey, I drive by this house. It looks the same. It looked bigger when I was in high school. It looked more expensive, larger. Now it just looks like a normal house. Just started wearing glasses. I would wear them sometimes, take them off other times. I couldn't see. Caller? Caller,
Hello?
go ahead. Hello. Welcome to
Chris.
Bloodfeast. Hi. Who am I speaking
Welcome
to?
to Bloodlines. This is amazing. You're doing really well.
Oh, well, thank you. Who am I speaking to?
This is Starshine.
Starshine. Oh, it's
Yeah.
so nice to talk to you.
So nice to talk to you.
I'm part of all these
You're-
other
you're-
shows, and I normally...
You know what? You're a star, Chris. Don't ever forget
Oh.
that.
Well, that's very
But I
nice
was
of you.
going to tell you, I've dated somebody that didn't want to be with me as well. And so I know at this point in the video how you're feeling.
Right.
And it can feel really terrible. And
Yeah.
that person also caused me a really dark period in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm through that dark period now, and I see that you are as well, and you're in a very happy, successful marriage, and you're a happy person, and so I just think you should be proud of yourself at this point, and I'm excited to see how the rest of your bloodlines unfolds. So,
Well, thank you so much.
best
Thanks
of
for
luck.
coming on this journey with me.
Absolutely.
And again, if anyone wants to share things like that, please do. The person on the screen you see
Yes.
right there, who looks like a Jean-Claude
Thank you.
Van Damme. Oh, thank you, Starshine. These are all my good friends. When the person in the middle there, who looks like Jean-Claude Van Damme, that's Wolfgang. Wolfgang was my best friend. Wolfgang killed himself in 1994. We think it was accidental, but I wrote his eulogy, and I don't often look at videos that he's in. So it's always strange to see photos and to see videos of him, because I can hear his voice. Moving on to nicer things. Have you had a friend who committed suicide? A best friend? Call 413-961-4263. Anyway, we're about to cut loose at an 80s prom. The prom theme, I believe, was Hold On to the Night by Richard Marx, which won over by, I think it beat Whitesnake. I was from New Jersey in the late 80s, so hair metal was all the rage, and I hated hair metal. Now I kind of love it. I made out with 2 of the 5 girls you've seen there. 3, actually. Look at that. A slightly more handsome Rocky Dennis. Ah. I should have mentioned that not all of this archival material is going to be from 89 to 91. There will be blips from my ill-begotten rock career in the late 90s. Ah, yeah. That's better. That was a temporary fugue 10 years into the future. There's Rachel again. I don't know why I'm using a fake name. I did post on Facebook that I would be on the streams tonight, and in case she's watching, I guess I want to be polite. What's weird about this video and all the videos here is that my parents didn't take tons of pictures of my sister and I growing up. There aren't albums full of pictures of us at home. There are some. Well, my father just happened to get a VHS recorder, I think the previous Christmas, and he started using it this year. So as a result, I have all this footage from 1989 and 1991. And as you'll see, that's bittersweet. I don't want to reveal too much yet. I'm not saying it's Rachel, but the girl I lost my virginity to, right afterwards, was crying inconsolably. And I said, "Why are you crying?" She goes, "Well, I guess we're now tied to each other forever." I guess we are. Did someone say something weird after you lost your virginity? Call 413-961-4263. Again, there's Wolfgang, living in the flesh. It's so weird. His girlfriend was awful. I hated her. Teenagers still do limousines, don't they? It seemed so fun at the time. One time for a girl I was dating, I was pretty sure she was going to dump me. And for her birthday, I surprised her with a limousine. The limousine pulled around the corner, and she already had it in her mind that she was going to break up with me, but here comes this limousine, so she put it out of her mind. She enjoyed her birthday date with me. And the movie we went to see was My Left Foot. I don't know if you've seen My Left Foot. It has Daniel Day-Lewis, and he plays an Irish painter with cerebral palsy. It's definitely more romantic than my choice, Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. All right, so we've moved on. So this is June 20th, 1989. Obviously my high school graduation. I'm wearing sunglasses. I usually never wear sunglasses, and I don't know why I chose to on that day. It was overcast, it was muggy. I graduated with a breathtakingly mediocre 2.4 GPA. I just lost interest the last couple years of school. When I was in elementary school and middle school, I was straight A's, and my father couldn't have been more proud of me. And I fed off his attention. He was always teaching me lessons. He was always bragging about me. I was the star child. And somewhere around middle school, my dad, he just kind of lost interest. He used to just always call me lazy. It wasn't stupid or dumb, just lazy. My father spent the bulk of his life at the end of the dining room table, drinking gin and tonics and beer every single night and just staring out the window, just staring at the middle distance. I had no idea what was on his mind. He smoked until 3 a.m. every single night. I went to sleep smelling Pall Mall cigarettes every night of my life until you'll find out. I remember they made the announcement and I didn't throw my hat. Everyone else did. And also I didn't celebrate with anyone, as you can see here. I'm just there by myself, poofing my blonde hair, which has grown darker over the years, and I don't know why. My father was upset with me because I didn't have any plans after high school. I had no idea what I would do. I played guitar and bass in my bedroom, but I was never serious about it, and I never made much thought about being a professional musician. I had no plans. I didn't even have a GPA to get me in Rutgers or Glassboro State. And he'd be like, well, you can't live here. And he was right, but I didn't know where else to go. I started dressing like a preppy this particular year, trying to look like our family had more money than we did. Like this cut-rate Ferris Bueller. Well, he had fun. See, I have my mom's hair. See, my mom and my relationship, she's still alive. It's okay. It's normal. I sent her a card the other day. It had $100 in it. She was very pleased. We don't have a deep relationship. She usually asks me things like, did you watch American Idol? And I tell her I've never watched American Idol. Well, that's too bad, she'll say. It's Rachel again. Again, we're dating. And by this time, we might have been having sex. And yet no one knew. Okay, so we've cut ahead here. This is Thanksgiving 1989. It's over at my sister Linda's house. Again, I have two sisters, one younger, one older. Linda was married at the time to Rick, who wound up being an awful, awful person. They gave her 2 children and no alimony. Anyway, by this time, my father's diagnosis had come in. It started with a lump in his lung down here. And tests came back that indeed it was a tumor. So he'd been a lifelong smoker, smoked nonstop, drank nonstop. Well, I shouldn't say that. He usually drank at night. So here we are, Thanksgiving dinner.
In the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Bless us on this Thanksgiving day. Bless us for the food that's on this table for families both Rick and Linda together here today. Thanks to them. Happy health for all of us through the upcoming holidays. And prayers going out for my father. Hopefully things will go well for him. And happy to appreciate everybody.
It's hard to hear my brother there. We're not a religious family. That is the only time grace would ever appear. It's over a big meal like that. And I remember this Thanksgiving because usually family dinners with my brothers and so forth, they're very loud and rambunctious. But this dinner, is eerily quiet. So rather than speak, I'm gonna make some music to this. So. Alright, so obviously we're at Christmas Eve here. This is my father operating the camera.
What are you doing, taping the kitchen? Oh, no you don't. Don't get me on tape. Don't get me on tape.
My mom and dad are watching a holiday movie called Kenny and Dolly's. I think it's called Coming Home for Christmas, or they would watch it every year at ear-splitting volume. That's my mom clapping by the tree. And that's my older brother, Bill. I mentioned earlier I have 5 brothers. I'm really only close to one of them, and that's him decorating the tree. The Christmas tree, growing up, would only be decorated on Christmas Eve. As a matter of fact, most years we would not get the tree until Christmas Eve. after my sister and I would go to sleep. Coming in right now are some of my sister's friends, and as you can see, they are dirtbags. Those are Christmas bears from Kmart. My dad would get them for my mom every year.
It's music related on the internet and gives you one gateway to find it.
Here's another interlude from the future. This is the year 2000.
Be right beside all those great bands that we all love, so it's very nice. And it's also, it seems like it's a really, you know, for somebody who hasn't heard of a band like the, you know, younger people like
It's the first time I've laughed during this.
just to have them even decide trinket, it's an honor, but also it's really cool for, you know, fans to
We were
find
playing a
out
corporate show in New York, the band I was in, and the opening band was Train. It was the launch for this website. Train went on to be Train. Again, that is a glimpse of my future, my high school future. Back to Christmas Eve. Now, what I should note about this is my father, he's had a number of beers by this point. It's around 3 in the morning. It's hard to hear because the TV is so loud, but he's kind of drunkily narrating the video. See if we can listen.
No, he did all the work this year. He put it all on himself. The only thing I hung was a couple of candy canes. Parlor is still a little bit. It's not messed up like it normally is at this time of year.
My father at times could be a very jovial drunk, and this is one of those times. Part of the reason he's jovial, trying to be in good spirits, because the day after Christmas, December 26, 1989, was the day of his surgery. That was the day he had half of his lung removed. We didn't know if we were going to have the surgery, because I believe in November, they found a spot on his brain. So the surgery on his lung suddenly became chancy.
And I'm finally.
But finally, we had a second specialist come in and say, no, the spot on your brain is not a tumor. Go have your lung surgery. So we went in, and we went ahead and had the lung surgery, not worrying about the spot on his brain. So on this holiday, we're all scared but hopeful, because at least he didn't have a brain tumor. We'll just take the tumor out of his lung, and he'll recover.
Gift that I had for Mommy. Let me see if I can get a light on, because I'm gonna bed in a couple of months here. Hold still for a second there. Hello, light. Oh, God. Table's all messed up.
Yeah, my parents would never wrap presents until Christmas
In
Eve.
2 weeks, I joined a band. I didn't know how to play, but they needed a bass player, so the band taught me how to play. And it was a Hooters cover band. Right.
Caller, go ahead. Hi, welcome to Bloodlines.
This is a
Hello?
nightgown.
Ah,
I'm going to bed in about 2 minutes. And I'll hand this
again, please call in at 413-961-4263.
More to come later.
What were your Christmases like?
So I
Did your parents
say
wrap
thank you,
everything
everyone.
on Christmas
See you
Eve?
guys.
Did they get a tree
Bye.
late on Christmas Eve?
You're
Ah,
me.
there she is. That's my younger sister, Kim.
Hey, Joseph.
And there I am.
London boot.
As you can see from the house, again, it's not
Okay, there's a
any
bag
great
there
shakes.
for the
It's very
trash.
small. I feel like a giant whenever I go there now. Oh,
Well,
July 3rd.
that was my dog,
you're
London.
full spirit.
It was London's birthday. He was born on Christmas, and he would die the following Easter.
There's a plastic bag right there for your trash. Right here, Jeff.
Hold up a second, Jeff.
I'm wearing a cardigan and an Oxford shirt, a pink Oxford shirt, kind of tan pantaloons. I loved heavy metal more than anything, but I never dressed like the metalhead. I wanted to fit in with all the richer kids from school, so I dressed like this. And I didn't really fit in. I've been cured of that problem over the years, I'm happy to say.
I would stay with one. When I get mine, mine's gonna be one.
My sister Kim still lives in this house. She's 45 years old. She lives in the same bedroom. She now lives with her baby. She never moved out. Caller, hello. This is Bloodlines?
This is the person who decorated that tree.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce my brother, Bill McVale. Hello, Bill. How is this for you?
It is as you would think it would be. I would share one thing for those who may be watching, is that was a tradition that we had, that you would go to sleep and wake up in the morning with the presents and tree, and I continued that all the way until my second marriage, when all of a sudden my wife said, "Why are we doing that? We should put up the tree earlier and let everybody participate and have the tree for lots of time." And I was like, wow, that sounds very inclusive and nice. So
yeah, and I should specify that it was a wonderful tradition. It's just only in retrospect does it seem so strange when you look back on it.
Yes, and I want to thank you for doing this. It's been very therapeutic for me. So
thank you.
I love you.
I love you.
And I'll talk to you soon.
I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Bill.
Bye.
And please go to BillMcVale.com. He's just released a new EP that I play guitar on. Just a little plug for my brother Bill. So we cut here to 1990. This is a band called Something Blue. Something Blue was a local New Jersey pop synth band that I met the guitarist of. We were working as telemarketers. And this is after we graduated high school. And the guitarist told me, he's like, "I'm in this band, and I could use an understudy," which is a strange thing to say to somebody. He brought me in. He brought me to practice, and the guys in the band were so put off by the guitarist bringing an understudy that the guitarist stormed out, and then they invited me to join the band. Now, by this time, we had learned that my father, after his lung surgery, that he did have a brain tumor. He was misdiagnosed. So by this time, my father was in and out of different surgeries to try to get the tumor from his brain. They weren't successful, and thus began a long, long period of my father deteriorating, during which time I would just stay in my room and play guitar and nothing else for hours every day. I would work a job. I had no plans of moving out. My sister wasn't home most of the time, so I was the only child of 7 who was around all the time. And I watched my dad just grow incredibly weak and frail through radiation, chemotherapy, you name it. So when this band asked me to join, officially, which happened, I believe, on my birthday, 1990, it was such a lifeline. It was such a ray of light. And they had already recorded much of an album. This here is Blake. There I am. Looking like a bro.
Hooters cover band.
Oh.
No, I think I did. Sorry. Honoring you.
So I should stress that this is a month within joining this band that I'm in a studio playing guitar solos for an album. All right, let's try it again. You got this. There it is, you got it. Jesus, how many times is on there? This is a promotional video. My bandmates made this video to promote. Oh. I haven't watched this in over 25 years.
It's both.
Oh boy.
Couple sound like you're thinking about them, you know. Like the one that we put down
Well,
first.
that one was pretty bad.
All right, well, I mean, the one that we
Well,
put down first.
that's a solo to a song called Room to Breathe, which is a song that came about from a riff I came up with. And I went from just playing guitar in my bedroom for hours and hours and hours. Maybe I should listen to more conventional music. I just said, dear God, I just said that. If you have any really embarrassing, pretentious things you said while spread eagle on a couch, please call 413-961-4263.
Now I don't give a fuck. I should probably write a song, you know. It's alright. I don't
That's
give
Blake.
a fuck mostly.
He's completely bald now.
Yeah, well, that's what it was.
It looks great on him, but you'd never know it. Now this here playing keyboard, his name is Eric. This entire band would wind up moving to Athens, Georgia in 1991. They were my escape from New Jersey. And Eric there, when we moved, worked at a bank. Long story short, Eric robbed the bank of over $20,000 and tried to frame me for the thief, for the robbery. The FBI came and questioned me. They had interviewed Eric previously before he beat town and explained how I could have done it. He explained that I'd stolen from Burger King years back and that I had access to his car and the keys to his car, which held the keys to the deposit box at work. Anyway, I helped the FBI catch him, and he wound up spending time in jail. Part of the reason we were able to nail Eric for this crime is that in his bedroom after he beat town, I found a notebook. And at the top of one of the pages in the notebook were the words, "The Plan." More on that story later. Anyway, the album we're making was an album called Pessimistic Fairy Tales, and I have a copy of it. I can show you a copy right here. This is the name, Pessimistic Fairy Tales. It has this garbage hallway with leaves and such on the cover, and on the back there's a moody shot of the five of us. And I just want to say that at the time, it was mind-blowing to be on a CD. Like, CDs hadn't been around very long, so to go from the pits of depression and watching my father perish to being, like, digitized for eternity, I couldn't believe it. So at the very end of my father's life, my father was in a hospital bed in our living room, and he basically could barely communicate. He was curled in a ball for the most part. It was just so painful. But I went to his bed, and I had this CD, and his eyes were clenched, and I said that, Dad, I made this. It's a CD. I made an album, and I just wanted you to know. And I placed it by his hand, and he couldn't say anything, but I like to think that I made him proud of me. Caller, hi. Welcome to Bloodfeast. Bloodlines of Bloodfeast.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Who am I speaking to?
This is Impermanence.
Impermanence?
Yep.
Hello. I don't know if I've chatted with you too much. Do you have anything to say about what you're witnessing?
I just wanted to say I had lost a father at an adolescent age as well, and found catharsis and therapy through art, and I'm glad you found it through music.
I really did. And I think, and I'm glad you called now because, I felt it was an amazing thing to share this album with my dad during his last dying days, and I kind of want to bring this experience to those of you watching tonight. So if we can show the graphic, I have copies. I have several copies left of this album. It's right here, and I'm more than happy to sell them to everybody. And I feel like as somebody who's kind of a personality here at Adult Swim Digital, you're really getting in on the ground floor of my past. I mean, these are great songs, and Room to Breathe is something I wrote. Tear You Down, the little funk number. Only Sometimes is like a classic 80s ballad. So God Elect, and all these songs, these are very timeless songs. I mean, the songs are largely about the environment and about how the government is just breathing down our necks. And if anything, these songs are more timely now than they were in 1990, 1991. So if we could bring the graphic back up and just, again, if anyone is interested in a CD copy of Pessimistic Fairy Tales or in a cassette copy, and I gotta say, the cassettes, I probably should have thrown these out a long time ago, but I think with Guardians of the Galaxy, thanks for calling. I think with Guardians of the Galaxy, cassettes are really hot right now, so I think it's pretty cool if you want to get a CD. Or let me just prop these up like this, and if you want me to autograph it, I'm happy to do so. It's just a nominal upcharge of $5, and but I think, if you're a fan of the streams, if you're a fan of my work on Fish Center or the things I say during Stupid Morning Bullshit, I think either of these would be a great thing to have in your collection. And these are not on eBay. These are not on Discogs. I mean, this is truly like a pirate indie recording, and of someone you've grown to like here on the stream. So I set up an email, pessimisticfairytales@gmail.com, and of course you can just call, and it's from World Records, and I could probably get the singer and the bass player to sign, but I don't know what they would charge to sign either of these. So if you're interested in either this CD or cassette, feel free to call up. It's a very integral part of the story of how I've come to even Adult Swim. My journey as a musician starts with what you're watching right now. And it's amazing to have this document still, like a big box of this document. I mean, it's a box. I've had this for over a quarter century now, and again, I think the price is pretty fair. If you look at old recordings of like REM's first album, or they can go upwards of hundreds of dollars, and I think that I'm on my way. I don't know if I'm on my way, but I feel like I've done some things, and so caller, go ahead. Hello, welcome to Bloodlines. This is Chris.
Oh, so this is live.
Yeah, this is live. Hello. Are you interested
Hello,
in
this is
pessimistic?
Matt.
Who is it?
This is Matt.
Hey, Matt.
How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing fine. Do you have a screen name? This is Matt from Chicago.
Screen name?
Yeah.
Yes, I am Matt from Chicago. Yeah.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I've seen you in chat a bunch. So do you like kind of like inspiring would-be arena rock music, kind of like YouTube, but like with deeper lyrics? Do you and like get like cool guitar solos? Because the Edge can't really play guitar solos, but I mean I can.
Well, I mean, to be honest, that's not my genre I usually stick to, but I'm open to anything.
Okay. So that's no
Where can
sale.
I get that CD?
Sorry?
Where can I get the CD?
Oh, you can get it if you it's right there. If you write to pessimisticfairytales@gmail.com. It's courtesy of World Records, and that's it's kind of a play. And the singer of this band, Blake, he funded the CD or tape, and that's why I'm a little leery of just giving them out, because I wouldn't want to upset him, of course, So
yeah.
Has anything in this special touched you at all, or anything interesting, or anything you'd like to know?
Well, actually, yeah. The reason I called is I lost my mother a week ago.
Oh God, for real?
So,
that's terrible.
Yeah. So I saw this and I wasn't sure if it was live or not. And you guys are on pretty late over there in Atlanta.
Yeah. Well, Bloodfeast usually runs at 10 o'clock Monday through Thursday, and with Upfront and Max and Dave being busy, this is not a normal Bloodfeast episode. This is the second of its kind, where they just pluck somebody from the building, and we just kind of build a narrative from our past. And I'm really honored to be part of this, especially honored to share this great album and tape with the streaming family. So I'm glad you. Did you just happen to surf in and you weren't expecting to hear great music, or?
Well, to be honest, I'm working right now. I'm driving from. I just did a delivery to Berea, Kentucky.
Oh wow!
So I'm on my way back to Chicago right now, and I was bored. I was thinking the replay of Upfront was going to be on, but I saw Bloodlines was on.
Yeah, and we didn't even announce this. Nobody knew this was really happening, which is kind of cool in its own way. Like, it's kind of like a cool club, It's kind of neat when information's exclusive and you're part of a small thing. It's like when you discover an album that not many people have or into, and it's like, oh my God, like only me and a couple people are into this really cool album from so many years ago. So, well, I'm glad. Are you driving?
I am driving, yeah.
Wait, you don't see video. Are you just listening?
Yeah, I just stream it on my phone and listen to it through my my car's radio.
Oh, right on. Yeah, there's no Bloodfeast podcast yet, but there should be, because there is a Fish Center podcast. Are you familiar with that? There's a Fish Center podcast?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you can now just listen to the show without all the busy visuals. So.
Oh wow. Yeah,
you should go to the App Store and get that.
Okay.
I haven't listened to it yet, but I can only imagine it's pretty cool. But Matt, please be safe, and thank you for listening tonight.
Yeah.
And again...
Well, I'll let you go. I'll free up the line.
Sorry?
I'll let you go.
Okay. Well, again, thank you so much for calling, and be safe. Well, again, that's Eric. Eric looked like a cross between Adam Ant and Rodney Dangerfield. He had a big trellis of hair. And that is a headless guitar made for me by my friend Jeff, my high school friend Jeff. He made a headless guitar with a monkey grip. Again, let's bring this graphic up. And $14.99 CD, $19.99 signed CD, $9.90. I know it might seem a little crass to charge for an autograph, but I've seen, when I go to Discogs, a lot of the time they'll have an album, and then they'll have a different version of the album signed by people, and it's worth more. So I'm just trying to do what the market asks. Caller, go ahead. Welcome to Bloodlines.
Hey, Chris. It's Carrot from chat.
Hey, Carrot. How are you?
It's a bit off topic, but I just got to ask about your sister. Like, does she ever go on vacations? Or has she, like, ever left the city?
My sister, she
who never left her room since a kid. Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the movie Grey Gardens, the documentary from the 70s?
No, I'm not.
Okay, well, it's an amazing documentary by the Males Brothers. It documents this woman this old woman who lives with her daughter, who's in her 40s and just kind of a fading actress type, and the two of them have this codependency on each other, and they never leave the house, and they live amongst filth and garbage and animal droppings, and it's this amazing portrait of two people, and in very much the relationship with my mother and sister is like that. Like, they could never leave each other. Like, my mom will never want my sister to move out and be an adult, and my sister is basically squatting. Like, I technically should get part of the house if anything were ever to happen to my mother, but I won't now because my sister will never leave. So it's kind of a bummer.
Like,
Has
she ever gone on vacation? Or?
She does. She loves Disney World, and her most favorite thing on earth is Bon Jovi. She has seen Bon Jovi, I think, about 40 or 50 times, and usually she'll say something like, "I saw Jovi last week," and she kind of speaks, and I'll be like, "That's great." She goes, "He's really great," and I was like, "Cool." And I hated Bon Jovi when I was in high school. I hated hair metal. Now I'm in a cover band. I sing Bon Jovi. I kind of appreciate it. But yeah, she does leave on occasion to go on vacations. But she has
Sorry for getting off topic.
No. I mean, no. She's part of this. She's part of this. She's part of my life, and a lot of people ask about her. So thanks for asking, and I hope you're enjoying this special edition of Bloodfeast.
No, I love it. No complaints at all. Thank you very much.
Cool. Thanks for calling in.
And a touch with everyone in chat.
Oh.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. That did count as a tender touch, didn't it? So here we are. We're practicing in Rich, our drummer's basement. And this is February, I think, of 1991. By this time, we're starting to adopt a plan. This is rehearsal at a place called the Harwin Theater. It's me playing that solo again. So the end of this story is my father died on March 4th, 1991. And though I was in this band and we had dreams of making it, there was no clear path. We played a couple clubs, we had an album coming out. And what happened was there was a band from Athens, Georgia that played at this theater called 5/8. 5/8 is this trio that still exists, and they're amazing. They're a rock band. We saw this band from Athens, Georgia, and we were so blown away that within 24 hours, my entire band and a bunch of other people decided to move to Athens, Georgia. So I went from the person who you saw on the prom at the very beginning, who had no idea what to do, to someone who was going to leave with a group of new friends. And all that time I spent depressed in my room, unable to sleep. I would just have the weather channel on because I liked the blue screen and the white text. And I would just play my guitar without an amp, my hands just going back and forth while my father ailed downstairs. All that time led to me being in this band, which led to me leaving New Jersey. And this period, 1989 to 1991, about 10 years ago, I started writing a book. I wrote an entire book about these 2 years of my life. Now, I haven't published it, and I don't know if I ever will, because I mostly wrote it as a cathartic exercise. But the process of spending years working on a project like this led me to believe that I'm also a writer. And this project led to me wanting to become a copywriter. And this gave me the discipline and belief in myself to get a job here at Adult Swim. So this time in my life is the most pivotal, hardest, but it ended up putting me in Georgia. It led to a life making music, and now it led to a job where I write all the time. And that's really what I do here at Adult Swim. I'm not just someone who makes quip-storied shows or writes lyrics about fish. Anyway, getting back to the music though, some really great drumming on the album Pessimistic Fairy Tales. Rich really, he might have been the best musician in the band. He really was like this Neil Peart, but he looked like someone who would be a lawyer because that's why he quit the band, was to be a lawyer. But Pessimistic Fairy Tales is great if you like throwback rock that sounds like the 80s. Because this was, written mostly during the 80s. So, we're gonna wrap this up. I want to thank everybody for spending this hour with me. And I spent a very long time being resentful toward my father for the relationship we had and for him leaving me and leaving my family, which of course he didn't want to do. He was married to my mom for 25 years, and that counts for something. And I actually really like who I am now. And so I just want to say that I love my family. I love my dad. I don't visit his gravesite, and I don't say much about him. I don't post pictures of him on Facebook. I never talk about him. But I do love him. And so I'm going to play a little guitar and to end this episode. Thanks for watching. That's it. Get him upset.